So today let's talk about solving a quadratic equation by factoring. Okay? So when you have a quadratic equation like this one on the board, x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Okay? When you have a quadratic equation with an x term, like 4x right here, okay, you can solve a quadratic equation by factoring. Okay? So let's do that. Right. So the first thing you do is you factor the left-hand side, x squared plus 4x plus 3. So you factor that. So this can be factored as x plus 3 times x plus 1. Okay? And the right-hand side is equal to 0. Okay? And now you think and say, okay, what makes this equation true? Okay? Right. So the only way that this equation holds true is if this part is equal to 0 or this part is equal to 0. Okay? So we have two cases. So we're going to have two roots. We have two solutions. Okay? So the first solution is if x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay? So that will be x equals negative 3. Like that. Okay? And the second case, B, is if x plus 1, the other part, is equal to 0. Okay? So of course 1 goes to the other side, x equals negative 1. Okay? Okay, so we have our solution. We have x equals negative 1 and negative 3. And that is our answer. Okay, we have our next problem. We have 2x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0. So you solve this the same way you did the previous problem. Okay, so let's factor the left-hand side. Okay, so this can be factored as, okay, two factors. So you split 2x squared into two factors. So we have 2x and x. Okay, and 6 can be split into minus 6 and minus 1, like that. Okay, so we have our factors, and this equals 0, like this. So again, this part has to be equal to 0, or this part has to be equal to 0 in order for this equation to hold true. Okay, so again, the first part is if 2x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, so negative 6 goes to the other side, so that's 2x equals 6. Okay, dividing both sides by 2, I get x equals 3. Okay, and that's 1. And the other part is if x minus 1 is equal to 0. So negative 1 goes to the other side, and the other answer is x equals 1. Okay, so we have our solution. We have x equals 1 or 3. And that is our solution. So here's the next problem. We have 3x squared plus 6x minus 9 equals 0. And you stop and think, okay, we have 3 terms on the left-hand side, but they're all multiples of 3, right? So immediately I can factor out 3. Okay? So I have 3 times x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay? Quantity equals 0, like that. And now I can essentially divide both sides by 3. Okay, so that 3 goes away. And 0 divided by 3 is just 0 anyway, so you just leave it at that. So this is just x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, like that. And now we can factor the left-hand side again. So that would be x plus 3, okay, times x minus 1 equals 0, like so. So again, this part has to be equal to 0, or this part has to be equal to 0. So the first part is if x plus 3 is equal to 0. So 3 goes to the other side, x equals negative 3. Okay? And the second part is if x minus 1 is equal to 0. So negative 1 goes to the other side, so that's just x equals 1. And we have our solution. We have x equals 1 or negative 3. And that is our solution. And that is how you solve a quadratic equation by factoring. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button on the channel page. Thank you for watching.